Okay, my name is Dr. Carver, C-A-R-V-E-R, Wilcox, W-I-L-C-O-X, and I am a dermatologist.
What is petroleum jelly exactly?
Well, petroleum jelly is basically, it's a petroleum product, so that means it's kind of like from oils and things, and it's just supposed to be a barrier protection. So it's used for people with like atopic dermatitis or eczema to protect their skin from outside influences which may injure their skin. It's also used as just an emollient for other types of things. An emollient is just a material that actually moisturizes the skin, also to penetrate it to some degree so you'll have some residual protection.
If I were to apply petroleum jelly fairly liberally to my skin and let it sit there, would it be easy to remove simply by wiping it?
No, because you are going to have some penetration, but there's going to be some residual unless you use some sort of a device like acetone or something that's going to sort of dissolve it and get it off of the skin. It's going to remain.
So even if like I rub it on and then I take a towel and vigorously wipe it, that's still not going to make a difference.
There's still going to be some there, certainly not as much, but there, excuse me, will be some residual left on the skin. Well, it's, it has been penetrated into the dead cells themselves, so they are going to be kind of plump with the Vaseline stuff. And then if you try to rub it, then they may extrude a little bit out of the dead cell layer. So you can think of it as kind of like a sponge that has been, has some water that's been soaked into it. And then when you rub on it or squeeze on it, some of it will kind of come out.
Now, if again, I apply petroleum jelly to my skin, wipe it off, but then I go out and I start exercising and I start working up a sweat, does that bring the petroleum jelly back up to the surface?
It isn't that it does that so much as what it does is it applies a layer of water on top of it, which will then sort of emulsify it or put it into sort of a solution, which can then make it even a little bit more slippery.
Is there any other agent in, say, a powder form or anything other than petroleum jelly that would have the same kind of effect to give the skin a slippery feeling that also could be applied to the skin, wiped off so that you don't see any evidence of it, but again, it surfaces due to sweat?
Well, of course, in dermatology, there's hundreds of emollient type things that can be used. Most of them do have some petroleum as a base in it, but there are other things like sodium lauryl sulfate and other ingredients in other kinds of chemicals that can provide some barrier protection, and those again would still respond the same way as the petroleum jelly. The reason that people like those is because they do kind of sink into the skin and you don't feel like the grease pig. But petroleum jelly is a fine, slippery item by itself. trying to remove petroleum jelly from the skin, you would have to use something like alcohol, which will actually cut through the material itself and kind of desiccate the dead cell layer on the surface itself.
His ability to hold guys in place, and he can't do anything with GSP. He's legendary for his guard. He's legendary for his guard. I mean, come on, man. Has anybody ever done that to BJ before? Absolutely not.
A few times I went to shoot my takedowns and establish a ground game. He definitely had a great sprawl. There's no doubt about that. He was very, very slippery. I must have had some oil on or something, but I couldn't grab him for nothing. But